Hey friends, Tux here. For this particular video, we'll be unboxing the Sony headphones model WH-1000XM5. This is the latest noise-canceling headphones from Sony, and many people consider the industry standard when it comes to noise-canceling headphones, and all around just generally great headphones. Now, the reason for me getting this was actually to go along with the Sony Walkman, which I've done a number of videos for this. You can check out in my video queue, but this, of course, is the NW-A306, okay? And I really wanted to try something besides the in-ear monitors I've been using from Surfans and some other about $400 type headphones I have from Asus and Alienware. And so I wanted to go ahead and just try Sony headphones with a Sony product. And if you have a favorite headphones, let me know in the comments below what you'd like to use. But this video is mostly an unboxing video. I'll go into features and things more in an upcoming video. But let's go ahead and unbox this. So if you were to get this from Sony, this is how it comes in a very nicely packed little box. We'll go ahead and rip into this here. Now, I spent a lot of time debating what headphones to go with, and even, you know, in your monitors, or should it be noise canceling or not noise canceling, and, you know, should it be open back, not open back. There's so many things out there right now, it's really almost confusing to decide what to pick. And I kind of went with Sony largely because, you know, it is a Sony Walkman, and also because I've already tried some other headphones, which I do love, but I really wanted to try the whole Sony headphones with a Sony product, you know, kind of keep the pair going. And there's some cool little, you know, touches in the actual MP3 player, which I thought might work good with this particular headset. Now, pulling this out of the box, you can see it comes in a very interesting, very eco-friendly like type case, and I believe there's a case in this case. This feels like a very strange mix of like egg carton and like maybe wax. Very interesting, very solid. It feels quite secure. It's definitely giftable. I love the way the appearance looks of it. It definitely looks like a nice, you know, something, a nice box you can give to someone, wrap it up nice for a birthday gift or something, but very presentable and very artistic too, how it's like flat on the back, but, you know, we have curved sides here. It is protected with a little strap here to make sure you have a brand new one, you know, but besides this actual cardboard barrier here, it seems like it pretty much could be opened without anyone knowing, so make sure you get a new one if you're actually getting it from a store. Now, on top here, it does cover a few features. It does talk about the 360 reality audio. This does work with high-res audio, of course. That is what I'm going for with my high-res music player. I want to be able to listen to music of very good quality, obviously. It says 30 hours for the battery. And again, industry-leading noise canceling, okay? Up top here, it does talk about you can use it for iPhone, iPad. Has Alexa built in, which is good because you know what? Actually, I do use Alexa. I don't really use Amazon Music particularly. Right now, I'm using mostly my own MP3s and Tidal. But I do have different subscription services, Sirius and whatnot, and I do use Amazon for quite a bit of stuff. It talks about OK Google. Flipping around to the back side here, whole bunch of really small print. I'm not going to try and read this, but just know that this is very nice packaging. This actual cardboard wrap here feels very silky. It really feels luxurious and, you know, perhaps warranting the price point of this particular set of headphones. Let me go ahead and open up the bottom part here for you. We'll peel this. It looks like this is how we open, obviously. We'll give this a little tear. I almost hate tearing this, being that it's such a nice new thing. And we're greeted with the actual 1000 series here. So this is, again, the 1000 series. And this is number 5. Now, number 4, actually, I almost bought because it does have some collapsibility options that this pair does not have. But I wasn't really familiar with either of them, so I decided to kind of go with the latest and greatest. Looks like it's the original blended material, so this is kind of eco-friendly, so I guess that is the purpose of that. Again, this feels kind of like milk carton. It's very interesting. Now, I was originally thinking that this bottom part was plastic, but it appears that this whole thing is made of this egg carton type material, so it's kind of a cardboard material. Very interesting. Like, I could spend a little bit of time describing this, but this is very unique. And let me say, if you get one of these, let me know what you think, or if you touch one of these in a store, what you think of this packaging, because it really feels like a really bizarre blend of like milk carton and like wax. It's very smooth, unlike a milk carton, but you can tell it definitely is like recycled cardboard material. And it definitely has a little packing here. Looks like it's well constructed to keep everything safe. And of course, right here, we're greeted when we open it with a little envelope from Sony. and it looks like that is kind of tucked in to the actual. That's kind of nice. It almost feels like a little personal touch here. They actually tucked in the top strap here to the envelope to make sure you get it right away. And we'll go ahead and take a look here. Looks like there is a code here to get the app, and then you can go ahead and start working with that right away. Let me go ahead and download the app, and I'll be right back. Now, once you scan the code here using your phone, it will actually take you right to the Sony help guide where you can select language and go through and start doing setup of it. It says, is this your headphones? Yes, this is the WH-1000XM5s, and basically gives you a whole quick start guide. Talks about hooking it up. So it's almost like instructions online, which is interesting. They have that. I don't mind getting paper instruction, which I think there is some paper instructions here inside this little envelope. But it looks like all sorts of troubleshooting, little notes for best use, operating, connecting, all that good stuff. It looks like there is an option here to download Headphones Connect, download the app, and set up the headset. So we're going to go ahead and click that, and here it takes you right to Google Play, and you can install and start downloading the actual Sony Connect app, which I'd recommend having if you have a number of Sony products. We'll go ahead and open that up, and it looks like we're greeted. Welcome. You go ahead and select country code and all that good stuff. If you need help with this app in particular, let me know in the comments, and I could try and maybe do another video on it or try and help you guys out. But I'm going to fast forward through this process and move on to the actual headphones. Now, looking in the envelope here, it does have a sample, a little free trial for the 360 Reality Audio, which I may give a shot, actually. It has a little comment, a card about be careful not to get it too wet. Now, these don't really say they're waterproof. I mean, most headphones are kind of water resistant, but especially if you're buying, or getting an expensive pair of headphones, you really don't want to damage them due to dropping them in the ocean or going in a torrential downpour or something. So it's important to try and keep them right. And there's a few extra comments about like excessive sweating, like if you're at the gym or something, or running or whatever. And it does talk about don't wash them in the sink. These are electronics, so obviously you don't want to get them too wet. But anyway, good tips, and it goes through. I'm sure there's probably some other things here about Bluetooth. Let's see, a lot of Apple things I see here, a lot of explanation. It talks here about noise canceling headphones. Looks like it talks about changing the pads. Many microphones, like the 5 version compared to 4, there is some pros and cons. I know that the biggest con for a lot of people, honestly, is the fact that these don't fold up the same way. But one pro, the sound quality is apparently improved, and there's some other improved aspects of it along the way too. So it's definitely kind of a give and take. If you like 4 or 5 better, let me know in the comments below. I'm kind of curious your take on it. I may still pick up a 4 down the road, but anyway, I wanted to go ahead and try 5 first. And looks like we have lots of instructions here in a lot of different languages and very small print. I'm not going to really worry about too much just right now. So we'll just put this back here, and then inside here there's limited warranty card, and that is pretty much it for the little envelope. So that's what you get inside of here. Now, looking at the case itself, it is a nice case. We'll get that out of the way. Not super big. I think there were a lot of people were complaining about the size of this case, and I don't feel like that's too large. It is angular a little bit with some very interesting, bezels, almost some some kind of fancy fold-down method here to make it thinner. Obviously, it's a little taller here at the end where the ear cups are, but it doesn't look too bad. It does have a nice little, very strong nylon loop here, so you could hang that from something on a desk maybe or something. It does feel, this whole thing feels kind of like the material of like a cubicle, kind of a carpeted material a little bit, like a nylon coating instead of, cardboard or whatever. Not bad, little padding here. It looks like it squishes a little bit, but it does, ultimately, although it's kind of large, I think this would fit into a backpack quite nicely. So I think this would be very acceptable for trips, It does feature a little Sony branded, feels like it is plastic zipper. First I thought it was metal. It looks like metal, but I think it's just painted to look that way. But it does say Sony, so that's kind of a nice little touch. And we'll go ahead and open this up here. Let's see. It does have a nice little zipper, and it zips very easily. Pull that all the way around here, and oh, look at that. There it is, guys. Now, I thought there was like a little compartment. Oh, there is. Let me show you this first. This is like a little compartment to put wires and things. I think I actually opened it the wrong way. In fact, maybe I should go ahead and redo this here real quick. We'll put this back in here, kind of flip it. So the headphones, when you first open it, I guess that is the wrong way to open it. You want to have the thin side nylon strap on the back, and it opens that way. So this is how it should look when you open it. And leave it to me to open it backwards. It looks like this is just nicely soft. It's the material kind of felty like. Definitely keep this from getting too scratched up or anything. I'm going to go ahead and flip this out though anyway, and just kind of put that over there. More about that in just 1 second. And the accessories are right here in this little magnetic compartment actually, which is pretty handy actually for travel and stuff. So definitely magnetic. We're going to open it up here. Looks like we have a number of cables. It does come with a 3.5 inch cable. I believe this is 3.5. Yeah, 3.5. It's a nice cable. It's kind of a matte black. It does have a quality rubbery feel to it. It is not a braided cable, which I would give it bonus points for being braided, but for being a non-braided cable, it looks like it is adequate length, and it does feel of good quality. Kind of a, I don't know if I want to say sticky, kind of a little bit of a grippy rubber to it. So I'd say it is quality. It doesn't feel like dollar store cables or anything bad like that. Very nice. It does say Sony, so it's branded, which is good. And then there is a USB, very short USB-C cable here too, for charging. This does feel like very thick wire. I have experienced sometimes with my Sony 4K camera, which if you go back in my queue, you'll see I have a Sony camera I'm recording this on right now actually is a Sony. And I have found sometimes doing data transfer with a non-Sony pack-in cable, like a cheap cable, and I'm not even talking dollar store cheap, I'm just talking like kind of a cheaper USB-C cable, maybe it came with some other electronics or something, where it doesn't like to transfer data, like it wants kind of a quality cable. So there might be something to that. I may experiment later with this cable and see if it charges just as easily with a cheap cable versus the actual thicker packing cable. But you can see this is a pretty thick cable actually. From my understanding of it, this is not really used, it's not really meant for playing music through USB. This is pretty much just a charging cable, okay? If you have experience with it one way or the other, let me know in the comments below. But I do like the fact that I just have this little compartment here to put things in. So if you're traveling, you know, if you're going to a con, you know, Comic-Con, BlizzCon, whatever, you can actually keep your little cables in here, which is nice. And I like the magneticness of that too, which is very cool. Now, I should add, this is really my first time ever seeing these or touching these. Now, I may have seen, you know, tourists around the island. I live in Key West, walking around the island with, you know, headphones on before. I have noticed a trend lately in the last couple years of, like, gamer girls and people walking around, like teenagers walking around with full-size headphones on, and sometimes even gamer ones with a microphone, which at first when I seen that I found it kind of shocking, but maybe they were just buying them out of cheap inconvenience or whatever. But I have seen people with, you know, like Bose noise canceling and Sony and even the Apple AirPod Pros or whatever. So I haven't seen people wearing, you know, these fancier headphones around. So there's kind of a trend of actually these headphones kind of, you know, being worn in public more than perhaps years past, you know. But they are nice. So look at these the first time I'm touching them. They feel of good quality, of good weight. Definitely feels plasticky though, I will say. It feels very, very light. Like I'm surprised like how like light this is, and these feel actually a little bit delicate. Besides being, you know, a quality product, they feel lighter than I would think they would. This all does feel plasticky though. Looking at the backside, you can see it just say Sony here. Looks very nice, but this feels like kind of a matte plastic feel to it. I know these do extend, and so it goes out about 1 inch or so. This feels like a good, it feels kind of like a car, like shock absorber or something. It feels like there's a little pressure on that when you open it and shut it. It does feel good. So I don't think this again comes sliding down on its own or whatever without you really pulling on it. But it does feel plasticky though. So, I mean, to me, that is a little bit negative compared to the Apple ones, which are like, what, double, triple the price? They're like $1,000 or something, the Apple ones, the Apple iPad Pros or whatever they are, iPad Pros, whatever. I believe they have metal here, and some other brands also do have metal here. So I guess, you know, it's not always comparing apples to apples. But these do have a really good, like very easy breezy, like being able to turn around. They're very, looks like they're very flexible, both from a turning aspect, and also you can see this part right here actually, although it looks like it's kind of built in, that does kind of go out a little bit too. So you really do have a lot of options, not just in like length of headphones like that, but the fact it can turn and it can even pivot a little bit, which is really nice. The headphones themselves do not fold in, so that is a negative for some people. The 4s would actually kind of fold in on themselves, and some people really did like that. So it's unfortunate it does not do that. This feels very soft. This is hard plastic, actually. So right here, this first inch or so is kind of, it's full on hard. It has this nice leathery feel. They call it like vegan leather, which I don't know what that really means. I think it's kind of like just synthetic fake leather, but it feels very nice and it feels very good quality too. It does feel like it has memory foam or something very squishy and soft, nice in the top part here. But again, the sides here and here are firm. They're very hard plastic, covered with this leather feel to them. It does have a left and right, which I do find that useful because sometimes people, you throw them on real quick and maybe you got them on going on the right way or the wrong way. You just don't know. So it's useful to me to have that. I don't need to have a huge L written here or inside of here or whatever, but just a nice little discrete L and R is very nice. I guess red right is why that is red. But it looks good, the headphones themselves, I do believe this this feels very smooth plastic, and we do have microphones going all the way around the sides. I think this would get fingerprinted up pretty badly though, if you have like greasy hands, like let's say you go to the beach or something, you're kind of sweating or whatever, at the gym or whatever. I could see how like this could probably get pretty fingerprinty in time. The inside part here feels very, very soft, like extremely soft. It feels really good. And I think that'll be very nice. And again, on the outside here, we got some buttons. First, taking a look at the left side here, there's different microphones and different, microphones for not just telephone use, like for vocaling, talking audio into the system, but also for the noise canceling. It can kind of pick up what is around you, so it can kind of, muffle those sounds so you can really enjoy your music to the fullest, I am really happy that I did include, I want to reiterate, even though they're wireless, I have talked in my previous videos when doing HD music, I really recommend actually using a wired connection. So I do appreciate the fact they did actually include a 3.5, because I probably wouldn't have bought them otherwise. If they were full on wireless with no other option, I believe there is a difference. And from listening to things through Bluetooth, even though Bluetooth has gotten, better and better, and it sounds pretty good, really for HD music, you really can't beat an actual wired connection. So Sony, thank you for including new cables with new devices. So for the price, I would expect it, but I just want to thank them because I think that's really important with HD music, giving you the option to listen with cables. So very good. Okay, on the sides here, we do have a number of buttons here. Right here is the charging, so that's USB-C, so it's very easy. This right here would just plug into your computer, and then right here, USB-C would just plug right in here. Let me just give you a little example there. Plugs in just like that, so very easy to plug and unplug, no problems there. And of course, the headphones go to the other hole over here, and you can go ahead and just plug in. I don't think it really matters which one you use. I could be wrong, but you can see the 3.5 just plugs in, and this will plug into your device, like perhaps the bottom of your Walkman here has an actual 3.5 plug, so you can just plug it right in. Okay, so very easy. And then looking at the sides, there really isn't a whole lot of other controls. A lot of these are actually, there's noise canceling right here. Okay, there's an option for that, and here's a power button and a Bluetooth button. But a lot of this is touch sensitive, where you're advancing songs or changing volume based on your touch on this. So I'm gonna go ahead and listen to some music, and I'll be right back with some final thoughts. Now, for registering your device is very simple. You just press in the power button and your phone should see it right away. See, there's the 1000XM5. So it's very easy. And then you just tap it to register, and it'll start registering it. So a very simple process in actually getting this hooked up to your device. Now, one thing I found particularly weird in setting this up is that they actually give you a free trial to a music service. So when you actually do the software app for the 360 Reality Audio, it includes a music service free trial. And these are your choices right here. And I already have a Tidal trial going right now, and I already have Amazon going, I think, with my normal Amazon account. So it's really kind of hard to pick. I'm really not too sure about these other two. So if you have a favorite music service of these four, let me know in the comments below. Now, another feature I really don't hear a lot of other YouTubers talk about is the actual ear setup. And I was really surprised that the complications involved in this. I was, again, using my little new Sony high-definition music player and my cell phone at the same time. Basically, it tells you to scan a code on the MP3 player, music player, to use the cell phone. It actually takes pictures of your left and right ear, which does involve kind of turning your head and kind of positioning it to get the actual kind of dimensions of your head, I guess, to get the headphones tuned to the size of your head. Now, they're very comfortable, I found, through this whole process, but it was very interesting. I never had a situation before of having to take photos of my ears and turning my head slowly and all this to actually get the headphones to work, to the optimum efficiency with my MP3 player or music player and my phone, so very interesting. And it saves it all to your Sony account too, so it is kind of account wide, so it's good to have that Sony account, and it will save your head profile. Very interesting experience. Okay, I had a chance to actually listen to a variety of different music with the headphones, and I have to say they sound excellent. The point I might have to look further into is maybe I don't want to use a cord. I'm really always been someone who strongly recommend using a cord, especially with HD music. But I have to say that it does hook up very nicely without the cord, and it sounds really incredible. So I'm really going to have to look into it and do a comparison and think about this and test a bunch of different music. But at least from the get-go, playing actual HD music wirelessly or wired through the actual MP3 player was really great. It was a great experience. I mean, the songs sounded amazing. It was definitely a wide, spacious sound field. I mean, songs like the Live Forever by Oasis, the beginning where it's the drums like a it was loud. It was, definitely deep. Definitely this plays bass amazing. So, I would really recommend these. A few cons though, again, fingerprint magnet. Of course, I'm not super sweaty right now or anything, but you can see where it's already getting a little shiny, different fingerprints. Maybe once these are used a little bit, they'll have one consistent black, a color. But, all in all, just, they are definitely something which is going to suck up any kind of fingerprints or grease or anything else. So that's something to consider. One other thing which I didn't really hear anyone else talk about, which is something which concerns me or could have been just a little better, maybe it's just an opportunity, is I love the case. It's nice and small, but one thing I would change is this is a very small Sony, music player, HD music player, and it would have been really nice maybe if there was a way that when you put the headphones into the case, there'd be a compartment or something deep enough for this to fit somewhere in here. So if you're traveling, that kind of thing, you can have your headphones in the case, and then maybe you could probably just leave it like that and shut it perhaps, and that might just work. I mean, these do, you have to push them in. Okay, so right now I did have them to a bigger setting, and then of course turn them, which I guess I'll have to flip it the other way. So we're gonna pop this in. And of course now we have the right on the right, which is good. Maybe it's just almost too bad there wasn't a color-coded dot on the inside here too, so I see red and red. That might make it a little bit easier. I think probably once you've been using these for a while, it becomes second nature which side what goes in. But I really wish there was a spot for this little player inside of here, like a little compartment. And of course it looks like it will shut nicely, and you can easily fit that in there, along with cords and everything else in the little magnetic compartment here, okay? So I guess it's okay, but it would have been nice if this would have been a little rectangle, like a magnetic compartment, which this would fit into. I would have liked a lot. Although it does look like without a problem, you could zip this up and have your MP3 player in there very solid, so that's good. I'm going to have to really test these further. So far, I do love them. I think the sound quality is excellent. I'm not entirely sure if these, sound better than some of the other $400 type headphones I have been using. So I'm going to have to test that a little bit. And I am a little bit partial to in-ear monitors or earbuds. So that's something else to consider. I would say compared to my in-ear monitors, like the Surfans, in-ear monitor, I think the bass on the Surfans is great, but these are better actually, and that's on wireless too. That's me not using the wire, which I always recommend using the wire for HD music, so that's a whole nother thing. I have to I have a little retrospective and look into my soul and listen to a bunch of different music and really compare if that's something where maybe I don't need the cord, but every instinct I have, every little element of me loving music tells me that it's going to be better with a cord, okay? As far as the data goes, I did switch it over where, it can actually, you do have to do a special setting in here, which I didn't know about, to actually have HD music streaming through the Bluetooth. Okay, so that is a whole setting. You have to reboot this. No one's ever talked about that before that I know of. And when you do that, it does give a little warning that it will cut down the battery life. Okay, so where people have been saying, oh, the batteries burn out really quickly, so far I've not experienced that. But maybe if you're streaming through Bluetooth HD music, maybe it does burn quicker. So I'm gonna have to test that further too. But all in all, fantastic purchase, guys. Like, I really like these headphones a lot so far. They sound amazing, great bass, great highs, big soundstage. I even like the weird taking photos of the ears to, actually get the best sound for your head. It shows that Sony's looking into this on all sorts of avenues to get the best musical experience possible for you. Now, again, I will have some more videos on, of course, the new music player I have here, and then of course the headphones, and see what is the best way of making these two work together. But as I mentioned earlier, if you have a different pair of headphones that you've been using with your Sony, okay, and that's NW-A306, if you have a different favorite pair of headphones or earbuds or in-ear monitors, whatever you want to use, let me know in the comments below. I'm really curious what everybody's using, and see what is the best options out there. But some people are saying, oh, this doesn't travel well or whatever. I don't think this is gonna be a problem for me, because I really think that profile, even with this in here, you can see it doesn't shed quite as good, but I think it still would shed. This would easily fit into a backpack or something, and I think that'd be well worth the effort if you're flying a long flight from Key West to LA or something. I could see where this would be great to have to listen to music and such. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it. A link for this will be down below in the comments. Click that link, get yours at the very best price, and I'm going to test out some other headphones. I have some in-ear monitors coming and some other things which I'm going to check out, because I'm really in search of the best possible solution for listening to music on this amazing little Sony player, okay? All right, friends, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon. More on the sound and other questions and Q&As on this product later. But I appreciate you watching. Again, click the link, okay? Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.